Welcome back to the Blizzard Arena here in beautiful Burbank, California. Doa and Monte Cristo welcoming you to our fourth match of the day here at the Overwatch League, and a special welcome to our Disney XD audience. We know you're out there, we know you're watching, and we appreciate you.
We do. We definitely do. And I'm really excited about this next match. Of course, the Shanghai Dragons coming off of their less than thriller 0-40 season.
Yeah, it was a rough season for the Shanghai Dragons.
But there's also the exciting new roster that they're bringing to us, though.
That's right. That's the thing. It's essentially Shanghai 2.0, right? Where there are only two members from that previous team on the current team. They've kind of changed out a lot of the coaching staff, so it might as well be an expansion team with all the changes they've had. And they needed that. 0-40 in Season 1, not the record that you really want as an organization, but I will say it here, I say it right now, they will not go 0-28 this season. They will win at least a few matches, I think, in Stage 1.
You know, in fact, I think most people are putting them pretty high in terms of the power rankings coming into the season.
Honestly.
I mean, they picked up many, many very good players over from Korea, especially the Gyeongju Panthera roster, a Korean contenders team that they mostly picked up. So I think there's a lot of reasons to be very excited about the Shanghai Dragons coming in.
Yeah, one of them a very recent pickup, actually.
That's right. Gamsu did get shanghaied by the Dragons.
That's right.
So he's here now. He's going to be playing on this roster. Maybe not today, as we see these starting rosters come in, but I think that's something that's going to give even more power to the Shanghai Dragons in the future, alongside their many, many other good pickups.
That's right. And on the other side, we have the Hangzhou Spark, one of our new expansion teams, our first expansion team to take the stage, actually, here in Overwatch League 2019. And this is a really exciting one. They've got kind of a super team from different contenders, Korean rosters. And when we were talking to the teams before the league began, it seemed like every single team we talked to talked about how great it was to play against the Spark, how versatile they were, how much stuff they're doing, their talent. So I'm really, really excited to see these guys, and there's a lot of hype surrounding this team for sure.
The hype around their colors, of course, too, which are
course,
wonderful. You know. So they were already, I think, going to be somewhat of a fan favorite coming into the season, but they are actually going to have the skill to back it up as well. I think most people are putting this team potentially as a top 5 in this meta that we've seen develop tonight. So they are not only expected to be the best expansion teams, but one of the best teams overall in the league.
It's a bold claim, and it's one of those fun things to kind of look at coming into a season. And one of the top stars on this team is, of course, their tank player, Guxue, who made such a big wave kind of around the world, well, especially in China, I suppose. But anyway, this guy is a great tank.
Yeah, he really is. Had some phenomenal play in the Overwatch World Cup, representing Team China. And this is a guy who, you know, we saw Fusion's another World Cup tank who was really shining in the Overwatch League earlier today. And we're going to see the same thing, if not even better, from Guxue.
I mean, certainly that's what a lot of people are expecting, right? I mean, he's known to have these, you know, quote-unquote perfect Winston ultimates. He's known for his great Reinhardt shadows we've seen, but this guy is just like a highlight machine. And we got a lot of that stuff from Fusions in our second match of the day. Hopefully we'll get a lot from our other, like you said, World Cup tank here as well. But it's time to introduce our first team in this matchup. Let's give it up for the Shanghai Dragons. Here they come. And man, after that last year, you go back, you regroup, you build a nearly entirely new roster, and you come back strong. That's what the Shanghai Dragons are trying to do, and I think they put together a roster that can do just that.
And there he is, the newest member, of course, Gamsu.
Yeah.
He gets this special tunnel to walk through, apparently.
That's right. It's a big pickup, and like you said, even if we don't see him play today, which we may or may not, because he's such a recent addition, obviously they haven't been practicing with this guy that much, he has such a long and successful history in multiple eSports titles, most recently Overwatch, of course, that you can't help but be excited about this pickup.
Yeah, and one thing that I found interesting is when we were talking to the Dragons, they said they were still working out who was going to be the primary shot caller on this roster.
Naturally.
And guess what? You just picked up a great shot caller. So if they need that in-game leadership, and they were trying to train some of their players to take that mantle, I think this is really a good move for the Dragons.
Yeah. And so, on the opposite side, the Shanghai Dragons today will be facing off our first expansion team in the Overwatch League to take the stage. Let's get up for the Hangzhou Spark. What a cheer from the crowd for these guys, and what a logo. What a team color scheme for these. I mean,
those foam fingers are amazing.
That's great. Well, there it is. Hangzhou Spark coming into the league, one of our new Chinese expansion teams. They've got a great roster of players out of Contenders Korea for the most part. Some other additions as well. Gushui, we mentioned, going to be an exciting tank to watch, exciting team to watch.
Yeah, and I think what has to be said about this roster is one of the players you really want to look at is IDK, who's going to be their main support player. A lot of hype coming in around this guy. Around the team in general, though, Godsby and Bazzi have been really solid DPS players over in Korean Contenders, but this is kind of a team of the best players you've never heard of coming into the Overwatch League, because these aren't guys who are winning Korean Contenders championships for the most part, but this organization really picked and chose some very star players off of different roster and has now slammed them all together in the Hangzhou Spark.
That's right. Well, we've taken a look at the teams. Let's take a look at our map lineup brought to you by Toyota. It's going to be another great 4 sets of maps, starting off on Busan for Control, then Hollywood will be our hybrid map, Horizon Lunar Colony for Assault, and finishing things off, unless we have that tie, on Rialto.
Yeah, that's right. And I think at least looking at this roster, because of the more closed-in maps, like Hollywood and Rialto, we may see more 3-3 compositions on there. But a good chance, I think, to see some triple or quad DPS on some of these points here on Busan to start things off.
Man, I am so excited about Busan as a map. Of course, this is a map that was introduced last year, and one of my favorite cities in the entire world. You know, you and I actually lived in Korea a long time, been to Busan many times. I was just there last summer, actually, and they've done a great job of capturing the vibe of this map, of the city in this map, I should say.
Especially the mecha base. That's actually my favorite part of Busan in real life.
Visiting the mecha base in Busan. That's true. But, oh, seriously, they did a great job. I love the map design team over Blizzard. Hopefully one day Busan will look like this. It'll be neat.
I mean, I hope it doesn't. That probably means that there's some serious military threat that they're addressing.
Hey, Mecha's obviously got it handled, so I'm not too concerned about it, you know? Even crew, they've got it taken care of.
And we probably will see the Spark swap off of this. This is a point that typically goes the way of the 3-3, but maybe they're feeling a little bit fancy today. And Shanghai Dragons, they are going to be running with Youngjin as their main tank. Typically not a main tank player, but I think coming in and trying to play Gamsu when he hasn't had a chance to adjust to the roster yet, and they haven't had a lot of practice time, may not be the best plan. So for now, it will be Youngjin. Over on the Brigitte, actually, it looks like
at the moment, they're running with single tank.
Yeah, they are. And Geguri did play main tank at times, especially on Orisa last season.
That's true. Geguri, of course, having a long history as being a great flex tank on the Zarya mostly, but looks like she's piloting the Hammond this time around. All right, let's see what they do. Bebe on the Moira, actually, not a pick we've seen a whole lot lately. Gosby, though, meanwhile, manages to get behind Luffy on the other side. A little bit of damage, but not much. Got to deal with that Tracer instead, but no smite already down here. So Shanghai with a little bit of an advantage, trying to take this point early.
Yeah, this is a really weird composition, I think, to run on this point, especially because there's not a lot of long sight lines for Widowmaker, but DM surprises them, gets no smite immediately. Godsby now going to swap over to the Zarya. Will be a 3-3 transition for the Spark.
That's right. DM definitely one of the best hit scan players, best Widowmakers out there. Hangzhou Spark advancing on the point again to try to take it out. A little bit of a hack coming in. They're going to wait, go down the elevator. And now they got to get on the point. DM looking again for more shots. A little bit exposed there, but got some escape options. Wait for the walls to come up. Goes all the way across. Gets out pretty easily. Rhea down, nearly demeched here. Does get demeched, in fact. DM finds that one. He's got the ultimate as well. Shanghai Dragons defending as well as they can. The MP comes in. There's another shot onto Bazzi from DM. Lighten him up. K-Curry a little bit low. She's got that minefield. If they need to hold out longer, they've got the healing. She's going to try to chase, but no, yeah, better to stay on the point. Better to defend it. And I gotta say, the Shanghai Dragons looking really solid so far.
Yeah, we expected them to be good, but now they're coming in with a little bit of a different roster lineup than we had expected.
Yeah.
And they are crushing it so far. Hangzhou, like you said, waited for those walls to come up just to cut off some of the sight lines on that last sec, but it wasn't enough. DM is dominating.
IDK down already. Another kill for DM onto Bebe. That kill feed is all DM all day, it seems like right now. Maybe a little bit low as well. Luffy saying, hey man, I want to be a bloodthirsty support as well. I can get a couple too.
Now, a lot of people have been talking up DM before this season starts. saying
He's
how
been
much
good
of
for
a
a long
monster
time.
he has been in these scrims as the teams sort of feel each other out in practice. And
Yeah.
there he is, just taking out 2 supports from the Spark, and that will just end the push immediately. It's desperation time for Hangzhou.
Yeah, you're at 90% right now in favor of the Shanghai Dragons. Spark needs to make something happen right here, right now. No Smite does get hacked. Needs to wait for that. They're going to try the same approach they did before. Youngjin trying to get a sneaky stun at the end of it. Meanwhile, Gakery up on the high ground. He's going to go in with a big slam. Another EMP. Luffy takes out No Smite. There goes Bozzy. And it's all Shanghai Dragons here on point A. You cannot take this point if you are Spark. That round is 100-0 for Shanghai Dragons.
And that is the power of playing some of these long-range heroes in a 3-3 meta.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to hit the shots through all the bubbles, through all the barriers, through all the shields, through all the HP. But you know what? If you're nailing those supports every time, you can play that Widowmaker, and you can do it again right now because our next point is going to be very viable with some of those sightlines.
Oh, how does he find that? That's crazy. You know, the interesting thing some people may not know of as we watch this highlight is that Diem's name is Diem because he's actually like best friends with Carpe over on the Philadelphia
That's
Fusion.
right.
They played together on a team previously and decided to name themselves Carpe Diem, respectively. They've gone on to be on other teams, but now joining each other together in the Overwatch League. Great to see some friends reunited here.
And also a bit of a vengeance match, too, because IDK and DM played on the same team in Contenders China. So old teammates going head-to-head, and DM coming out on top.
Absolutely. Ozzy gets hacked early on. Ding looking for that, or Ding rather, looking for that kill early on. Trying to overlook the point here as Shanghai Dragons approach. Spark regrouping up on the high ground. Gakery getting hacked before she completes that slam, actually. That might be an opportunity here, but Diem up on the high ground, untouched. Oh, he's nearly got the kill. He does onto No Smite. Meanwhile, IDK gets the boop onto Gakery to finish her off, and it looks like for now, Spark will take the point.
Yeah, that's right. It is a 4v4 down on the point right now.
That's right.
See, baby. Fade out, and they're all trying to stay bottled up behind that Diva.
That's a really fast coalescence at Moira Ultimate coming out for Bebe. Doing a lot of damage to some of these low health members of the Shanghai Dragons. So as rough as things look for Spark in round number 1, it looks like they've started to stabilize a bit. Although Shanghai Dragons trying to hold strong on the point and turn this thing around. Luffy, Koma, Youngjin, all trying to do it. They're going to dedicate to the Transcendence to this. They've got the respawns coming in now, so maybe they just have a chance to win this fight. A kill on the Bebe is going to help out, but they lose Koma in the process too. Youngjin diving in, setting up another one for Luffy. Trying to find that kill. Nice stun to finish off Godsby. And Youngjin, known for that DPS role. Also, of course, if you're DPS, you got to play the Brigitte right now, and he's doing that quite well. They're making the solo tank thing work. It looks like they might just be able to flip it. They will.
And they absolutely are going to flip it.
Wow.
54% over for the Spark right now, but they're coming back in with that EMP, and if Godspeed can find a good opportunity, that will shut them down. Ting looking to achieve the same feat here. Mirrored Sombra's ultimates available for use.
Yep. And Ding waiting for the opportunity with this EMP. Comes in, finds a big one. That's at least 3 hack. Bozzy in a lot of trouble right away. I got 4 with that EMP, and Shanghai wasting no time at all. Just wrecking the Spark and sending him packing.
You have that EMP advantage. There's really no counterplay to it if you hit that other Sombra. Bazzi flipping over to the Brigitte now, trying to shut down some of these fast mobility flankers, such as that Tracer and the Sombra.
There we go, Rhea sent back. He wanted to go anyway, wanted to get that mech back. And I got to say, we have to mention Gakery's Hammond play here.
Yeah.
Wrecking Ball's been working very well for her. She's played a nice measured style, too, that's not leaving her too exposed, like she's not going in too far or anything like that. And when you're the only tank on your team, you need to play so careful, and she's nailing it.
Ding behind right now. Does get the hack off onto IDK.
Okay, something. And No Smite, waiting for a chance here to use that Primal Rage. Gets the kill onto Luffy. That's a start. DM a little bit low health, in trouble. Gakery trying to back off. Getting low health too, so Hangzhou Spark just muscling their way in there and switching the point back over in their favor.
That was a nice spoof, though. Prevented No Smite from getting any of the landing damage and really continuing to pour it on the Shanghai Dragons.
It was just a great maneuvering by Spark. They didn't really even need to, decisively win a team fight. They just sort of walked in and took it.
And they didn't need to use the EMP either, which is huge. Ding coming up on another one of his own, however.
I think an EMP in the back there. Gosby using it to take out that Tender Zenyatta in the back. Without those shields, he's only got 50 HP, so It's really easy to make that happen, and now Hangzhou Spark over 80% here.
Yeah, but look at what the Dragons are coming back with. You got
A lot of
4 ultimates available to you, tons of healing and the EMP, and you only need really that EMP to land to be effective. IDK's got to hide, so let's see where IDK's positioning right now.
Ding waiting for that big EMP. Coming down, he's gonna go ahead and use it. DM trying to capitalize now. Bazzi already fell to the pulse bomb. DM looking for more though. Not satisfied with just that 1 kill. Trying to find one on the Bebe in the back. That Moira very vulnerable. Gonna go ahead and fade to try to escape. Chases him down. That Coalescence though gonna keep Moira healed. He has to be careful with that. Luffy falls afoul of the ultimate instead, and now Hangzhou Spark at 99%, trying to tie up this map. Bebe with the great Moira play, setting things up for No Spine to just clean it with the Winston. That minefield laid down by Gakery and the Hammond, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Shanghai, though, no, they're coming back. They're going to flip the point again. Hangzhou looked like they had it nailed, but no, Shanghai Dragons wants another shot.
I mean, they just didn't have the damage to clear through Gakery on the Wrecking Ball.
I guess so.
Not enough that they could do there. The supports were zoned out from healing the tanks, so now Hangzhou Spark looking for another opportunity. Ding, once again, coming up on an EMP, so he's got a chance to make the big play before this fight starts and close out this map for the Shanghai Dragon.
Early rally for Bazzi, giving his team that extra armor as they approach the point right now. They're going to need to put it to good use, though. Ding comes in with that big EMP, hit a lot of people again. His team needs to get in there with a follow-up, though. They need to capitalize on those abilities being locked down. DM trying to do just that. He's got to hide from the self-destruct, getting hacked himself as well. And Spark getting a couple crucial kills to try to turn this one around. They will flip it 99 to 99%, and Spark just needs a bit more Gakery. No support, not enough health to live through that one. And it looks like after DM is taken out here, that Hangzhou Spark may tie things up on Busan. One more, Ding can't get in there, and that is it. We are tied up on Busan.
And that EMP by Ding Doa, it looked good, but they couldn't actually kill the tank or the loose tanks or the Lucio that they stopped with the EMP. So then they over pursued straight into an EMP coming out of the Spark.
Yep. It was a game of inches on that one, 99% to 99%. That's going to take us to this 3rd point on Busan.
Yeah, this was another critical play. Like coming in at the end here, IDK just moving them off. But IDK's positioning before that fight was also imperative because he was actually able to save a sound barrier because he wasn't in line of sight and they knew that EMP was coming. So actually did keep the Spark in there to a certain degree.
Yeah. Bazzi's Brigitte has been solid. Saw him on screen. Got to give his hero a little bit of love. And here we go on my favorite point on Busan.
We're going to be taking a look at this too. It's still going to be, looks like a 3 support, 2 damage, and 1 tank composition for the Shanghai Dragons. So they're really going for this Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, the single tank Wrecking Ball strategy.
DM just harassing from the side right now.
That's what you do. You try to take the pressure and split it. Split up the enemy team. Oh, but he's in trouble. You gotta watch out for that Brigitte. She was custom tailored to kill tracers. Except for that one. Luffy with another one. Godsby takes out his Sombra counterpart meanwhile. They're gonna push back Rhea. He goes down. And Shanghai, a little bit of an edge here as they start the point unlocked. It looks like Shanghai Dragon might be able to lock it down first.
They are gonna pick up the first point capture here.
There you go.
And looks like Hangzhou, they really want to run this Sombra and Brigitte combination. Brigitte just shut down the flankers with the Tracer and the Sombra, and then have their own Sombra. If they can get a hack off onto the Hammond, it really does hurt the Shanghai Dragon's ability to control the front line with only that single tank.
Whoa,
nice stick on Bazzi.
Great stick on Bazzi. That's something all Tracers dream of doing to Brigitte players. Meanwhile, Luffy gets another one onto IDK. Gakery coming in, lots of extra armor. Lots of CC takes out Rhea before she can get back to the home base. And Shanghai kind of dominating this point so far.
Yeah, cheeky little attempt at a back cap there by Godspeed, but can't quite make it work or flip the point.
You gotta try it though. I mean, that's what you do with the Sombra. Again, it's about splitting the attention of the enemy team.
Sure is, and you see still back there right now. No EMP quite yet though, so quite delayed here for Godspeed.
Godspeed looking for the hack again. Ooh, Transcendence rather comes in on the Shanghai side. Yum takes out Bebe. As the fight over the point continues, Gakery just swinging around the drum. Takes out Bazzi on the way. Hey, why not? Hey, it works out. And Shanghai holding it easily, man. We're getting to the point where Hangzhou is only going to have like 1 or 2 fights left to try to take this.
I mean, Ding is the dominant Sombra play on this map. so
Seems
far
that way.
because
Yeah.
he just came from behind and hacked Bebe and just like one-clipped him from behind with the help of DM.
They know the Sombra's out there.
Like the Sombra's there, and you know if you're hacked and you're that Moira, there's nothing really you can do about it. You are a sitting duck.
A big minefield on the point right now. Godspeed goes in with the EMP. That's going to lead to the kill on Ding. So when it all comes down to it, when it really matters, Hangzhou, they get EMP'd, but they're getting the kills they need to flip this point and give themselves at least a chance here. Gagery down as well, and that will be a clean team fight for Hangzhou Spark, despite taking that big EMP in the process.
Yeah, just everybody hacked right there. Both of the Sombra players deploying the EMP, which gave a little bit of an advantage there to Hangzhou, considering they had position on the point prior and were able to focus down the front line just a little bit quicker.
Right. Godspeed again trying to harass from the back lines, going after Luffy here. DM looking for a place to put that pulse bomb. So many tempting targets, going to go in, has to avoid that self-destruct though. Koma's going to get caught by it though. Ding does find the equalizing kill, but now Youngjin falling as well. Hangzhou Spark may have bought themselves some more time, and that's a nice stick on Abazi from DM. Hangzhou drops that sound barrier to try to stay in the fight. It's overtime. Shanghai has to give that one up again.
And there is a hacked Primal Raging Winston, maybe the most useless thing in Overwatch. Yeah, does eventually.
Swinging his arms, you know.
He does get out of it though before anybody can come back on the side of the Shanghai Dragons. Looks like we will see Hangzhou returning to full force on the point. Currently a flank being undertaken by DM on the Tracer.
Well, Shanghai's going to have some good ultimates to use coming into this next fight. And there's still a lot of percentage left that Hangzhou needs. They're only at 50% right now. Ding waiting for it. Sound barrier comes in. That EMP could clear it right off if DD or Ding can get there in time. But Bazi already with 2 kills, and Shanghai's going to have to wait this one out. Hangzhou Spark defends again, but they're still sub 70%. Shanghai can play this one patiently.
You'll notice, though, what happened was they dropped the bubble at the rear of the battle that time, the Hangzhou Spark, and that cut off the ability to hack onto Bebe and the Hangzhou supports. Hangzhou knows that DM and Ding are coming after their support line, especially Bebe on that Moira, and that time they didn't give him an opportunity.
You really got to question Koma's use of that sound barrier in that fight, too. Ding gets stunned, has to translocate out. It was a close one. Still has that EMP, goes ahead and uses it, gets a couple, Bebe included. Gagery, meanwhile, drops a minefield rather, on the point as they try to take it back, but they've lost Luffy already. No Smite, meanwhile, goes down. That's a big tank out of commission for Hangzhou Spark, but they're still coming up with most of the kills anyway here, pushing Shanghai right back. And here's a situation where you look at it and you're like, maybe this single tank thing, you know, isn't going to work out quite as well. And Hangzhou Spark will take this map 2-1 in the end. It was a close affair, but the Spark win it.
That they do, and it was because they figured out this flanking tactic that was being used by the Dragons, and instead they just all-in on the front line. They said, we don't need these bubbles, we don't need these barriers to protect our front line, because they're going to get stuck behind them with 2 of their DPS, and we're just going to go ahead and win that 6v4.
That's right. We will take a quick break, and when we come back, map number 2, don't go anywhere. This is Overwatch League.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
So the meta is a very specific type of like style that's been developed in the game based off of balance patches, where you'll have like 2 or 3 comps and then you'll swap to each one to like counter the other comps.
There's several ways to describe it, I guess. It's like in a way, it's like the flavor of the month in a way. All the pros think this is the best. Like this is what the norm is, the standard, right? As a gamer, these kind of gamer terms kind of slip out. So whenever something's like in fad, I will accidentally say, oh yeah, these shoes are in meta right now.
There you go. Well, this matchup definitely shaking the meta, I would say. Shanghai Dragons coming out with a single tank look, and you kind of wonder, is this something they can sustain through this match? It wasn't enough to get a map #1, but what do you think? Can they carry that forward?
I think they're trying to struggle through the fact that they just lost Fearless, that they're having to, switch Geguri onto that main tank role, and they're off-rolling in general. So I think right now it's great news that Gamsu's here. And in fact, considering they didn't really change up their fundamental strategy very much, I think it's really impressive they did as well as they did.
Hey, they made it about as close as you can on that control map, 99 to 99 at the very last point. But we are moving on to our hybrid map now. It's going to be Hollywood.
And this is a map that we should see the 3-3 on. So I think we're going to learn a lot about the current state of the Shanghai Dragons. Oftentimes on these control maps right now, because you can get a little scrappier, because you can break the fight into these little skirmishes, you can play these kind of compositions with 3-4 DPS like we were seeing, over from the side of Shanghai. But in this meta, where you're deathballing on the payload, that's where the 3-3 really has to come out. And as we can see right now, it is going to be Youngjin looking like he will be playing the Reinhardt as Geguri switches over to her typical diva.
DM moving from the DPS over to the Zarya, which is what you'd expect with this 3-3, the triple tank, triple support. They're going to go for it. They are on attack here on Hollywood. Hangzhou Spark managing to barely eke out that last map win. Shanghai trying to come back strong this time around. We'll see if they can get the payload moving. Diving in, man, they are being aggressive here on the back of those Zarya shields, trying to stay alive. Rhea down right away. They lose Bazi as well, and Spark seemingly unprepared for the level of aggression coming out from the Shanghai Dragons.
I mean, you simply can't position like that on Hollywood. Like, they just got, the tank line just got bisected from the rest of the core of the team. Like, you should be playing on the high ground. You shouldn't be just standing there waiting to get Lucio speed boosted on and cut in half.
Pretty much. I mean, that's the thing, is a couple respawns coming in, but this is all Shanghai Dragons quite right now, and this is one of the big things about 3-3 that you need to look for in these fights, is for teams to try to peel off 1 or 2 of the tanks from the other team, isolate them, take them out. Suddenly you've got that man advantage. Godspeed gets a little bit of a revenge kill in Coma. I don't know why he was out that far, but he paid for it. It's okay. The payload takes a while to get rolling on.
I'm just sitting here like shrugging my shoulders right now, because these are some mistakes that shouldn't be being made at this level of play.
Hey, it's one of those things. Payload's moving now. He respawned in time. Monty will never let you forget about it, but I will forgive you. It's okay. Grabs coming out on both sides. Zarya ultimate blocking people up. Diem, though, the one who pays for it. Transcendence coming in a little bit late from Luffy to try to keep him alive.
Just a little bit of a delay right there to keep the Zarya available in this fight, and that's going to mean the Shanghai Dragons do have to back off in the end.
Hangzhou Spark taking firm control over the payload for the moment anyway. Couple ultimates up, got both Earth Shatters, the Reinhardt ultimates up for both teams right now. Gotta use it well though, and this is gonna be Youngjin's major test. Oh, that's a great start for those Earth Shatters. Luffy capitalizing with a kill on the Godspeed. Youngjin, all right, that was a pretty good Earth Shatter, man. I don't know, Hangzhou Spark just seemed not ready for that. They just kind of walked into it.
Yep, you gotta say, they're doing really well. This is answering many of our questions. Youngjin.
Can Youngjin play main tank?
Yep. Playing aggressively, landing the big shatters, no complaints.
If the first 60 seconds are any indication, he's doing okay so far. Well, this is not a permanent thing for him.
We should definitely overreact about the first minute of this game, Noah.
That is the key. That is one of the esports pillars. Overreact to all of the matches immediately. This must be how it'll be for the rest of the season. Self-destruct, not getting any kills, but Hangzhou Spark, a lot of low health members, no smite, trying to counter with the Earth Shatter, and it does lead to a kill on the opposing Reinhardt. So that is something, and that something turns into a pretty easy team fight win for the pink people eaters? I don't know.
I mean, I really just don't like diva ult engages in this meta. If you're both playing 3-3, it's too easy with bubbles, barriers, Lucio speed boost to get away from it. And right there, you know, they lost a lot of the value that they could have had with DM getting the Graviton Surge online soon, and instead just lost a fight.
Right. Shanghai coming in with a lot of ultimates themselves. Nice Earth Shatter in the middle of everything from Youngjin. Waiting for it. They're going to get caught up in the Graviton Surge. Responding with that Earth Shatter. That is the boop and a half to set up that 4-kill for Rhea. And Rhea just giving the uppercut to Zenyatta in the end. Fatality.
Was a fatality, though. IDK just coming in there and booping them all up.
Dude.
Straight into the bomb.
Let me tell
Rhea.
you, man, as a Lucio player, that is the best feeling in the entire world to be like, yeah, I know it says the Diva killed him, but I killed him. I was actually the one who did that.
You know, when you're playing 3-3, those timings are just so important because you have to reposition the Reinhardt to make sure that that hero's not going to block the damage from the self-destruct.
All right, grab. What are they going to send in there? Trying to pair their own ultimates with it. Youngjin does get IDK with the charge, I suppose. Youngjin down, though. Bazzi responding here. And now, with the sound barrier coming in from Coma, Shanghai kind of struggling here, All right, well, that didn't work.
This is where not having that self-destruct, like, really hurts you, right?
Sure
because that's, you know, 3-3 is a very subtle game. I know it looks like a whole massive particle effects on your screen, but ability usage and chaining abilities properly and knowing what ultimates are online on the other team is so critical to success.
I'm actually really surprised that they didn't save that Graviton Surge on the Shanghai side to pair with Gegari's self-destruct. She just got it now. They didn't have to wait that long, and now they're going to have to wait a while before DM to have another ultimate.
Yeah, they are offsetting these ultimates pretty badly in the last few fights.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit rough. Hangzhou Spark looking more and more solid on the defense here. Shanghai equipped with the tools to possibly push this payload further, though. Another Graviton Surge comes in. Oh, trying to respond with the Earth Shatter again, and there's another kill on Tacoma from the self-destruct on the Hangzhou Spark side. Shanghai down to member, but they do take out Bazzi in response. All right, Transcendence dedicated to the fight by Pepe. They're going to try to make it work. Looks like Hangzhou Spark in a pretty good position here. And Shanghai Dragons just really having a tough time approaching the payload as it's been kind of moved in this narrow corridor.
Yeah, Ding also used the rally at the end there, so not a lot of value unless they can get up to that payload very quickly.
It's not going to rally anybody.
Yeah, Bazzi going to have a much more effective rally coming into this next fight.
Yeah, Shanghai Dragons, I feel like they have the tools, but they kind of put themselves in this position here with some kind of inopportune ultimate usage. They've kind of given Hangzhou Spark this round to kind of win or lose. 40 seconds remaining. Shanghai needs to make something fast, but Hangzhou knows they have the edge. They're going to dive right in onto Youngjin. Getting very low. Can they take him out? They can. And that might be that little bit of inexperience on the main tank role from Youngjin. Normally that DPS player, and he was, I think, a little bit out of position compared to the rest of the Dragons there.
Yeah, a lot of the ult tracking has really fallen apart here at the end for the Shanghai Dragons.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like I said, we talked to them coming into this match, and they said they were still trying to find that player with the voice on their team to really call these shots. And
Indeed.
I think you can see that.
Under 10 seconds now. It is do or die for the Shanghai Dragons on their attack run. They need to make something happen, and even if they do, it's so much farther for them to push the payload to finish this round. They're going to try to throw in the Graviton Surge, trying to capitalize with that self-destruct. Can they get rid of the shield? Not quite. The sound barrier comes in from IDK right at the proper time for Hangzhou Spark. They're going to try to follow it up here. Shanghai Dragons gets their own Lucio ultimate, their own shields. Luffy and Youngjin down, though, and Hangzhou Spark already rallying back. No pun intended in this fight, and it looks
there
like
it is. There's a rallying back.
Okay, now rallying back. See, I used that too early, just like the Shanghai Dragons with their ultimate, and they paid for it. That's where the payload's going to stop. Good hold for Spark.
Yeah, very good hold, especially considering that the Shanghai Dragons came in and just one-pushed them on the attack. So, you know, coming back and really just being really rock-solid defense on B was huge.
Quick break, and we'll be back with round 2 right after this. Welcome back to map number 2 between the Shanghai Dragons and Hangzhou Spark, already in progress here. Shanghai Dragons had their attack run. They had their chance to push the payload, but as you can see, they only pushed it about halfway through point B, and that's going to make it, honestly, pretty easy for Spark to finish this one if they can take point A. And if last map is any indication, I think, like you said, Monty, with some of the roster shakes-ups Shanghai had right before the season began, they're looking okay, but they're just not looking strong enough at the moment.
Yeah, and I think they definitely looked better when they could play DM on the Widowmaker on the Tracer.
Absolutely.
So this map, I think, is just going to be pretty rough for them overall, but
still a couple more maps to play after this one either way, so we'll see what they can do. Hangzhou Spark looking to make it a 2-0 lead in this map series as they attack here on Hollywood. Looping around to the left side as the attacker is pretty common here. We'll see if Rhea tries to jump up on the high ground and harass there. That's usually what you do with the Diva. Yep, there we go. Trying to force some people off. Yeah, Koma has to go running a little bit. And now Rhea's going to kind of cover it for his team to loop around.
Yeah, it's just a slow roll up to the high ground. This is a more traditional take on this. If you can get high ground on the opposite side on Cafe, you're feeling super good as the attacker.
If you get your Zarya up on the high ground too, she can just kind of roast people and build charge as well. They don't even need to have her sit up there. They can actually just bring people down and take the point. They've muscled Shanghai out, but they do have Diem on the high ground on the Shanghai side, taking a lot of fire from Bebe though. That Zenyatta can put out the damage if you're not careful. Hangzhou Spark need to be careful here. They've got the health now, but they need to continue to proceed cautiously. They want to take this point. One tick taken already. They get a bit more. They're looking hesitant.
Yeah, good job, though, by the Shanghai Dragons to retake that high ground, though. They're not panicking in the face of this slow push that's being engineered by the Spark.
Shock, or Spark rather, just trying to grind it out. Going on to Youngjin now. He's a little bit isolated, back on the point, trying to get to his team. That's just going to give more time for Spark on the point right now. Diem goes ahead and drops the Graviton Surge. There's a follow-up here. Youngjin dies. Hangzhou Spark loses nobody in that Zarya ultimate, and that is not going to do Shanghai any favors. Geguri trying to delay on the point for as long as possible. Every second counts, but it looks like it's inevitable. It looks like this point A is going the way of Hangzhou Spark.
Yeah, but they did at least take 2 minutes off the clock, so it's not like what happened with Shanghai where they just instantly capped it on their first attack. So a little bit of relief here for the Shanghai Dragons. Less time that they need to defend here on point B.
I mean, but it's still 4 minutes and 30 seconds for Spark to push the payload just halfway through B, which is not usually a place you see a lot of teams get stopped on Hollywood. So if you're a fan of the Spark, or if you're the Spark players themselves, I think you're going to be pretty happy with this situation. Earth Shatter coming in. Oh, that's a nice response from Spark. They're going to go ahead and drop down the sound barrier too. Youngjin taken out early. Shanghai Dragons reeling already. Spark crushing this fight.
And so disciplined, though. They kept the Graviton and the self-destruct because they had already landed the abilities they needed to. Not only that, they got everything and a late kill onto Dion. This is a disaster. Hangzhou Spark are basically one team fight from winning this map.
Pretty much. And like you mentioned already, they managed to hold a bunch of the ultimates. They're going to need to do that.
Yeah,
this is
crazy advantage,
man.
Crazy advantage for the Spark right now.
Absolutely. Here we go. Shanghai Dragons, they gotta get in there, they gotta stop it. The payload's nearly there. Trying to do it, but already Spark all over them right now. Bazzi does go down early here. Self-destruct though for Shanghai. Another 3K for Rhea, and you might as well say 4 because it demech Geguri as well. And that is gonna be the end of the map in favor of Hangzhou Spark again. They will go up 2-0 in this series, and man, that was just a school on how to play Hollywood well by these guys. The efficiency was great on the ultimates.
Yeah, Hangzhou really showing their skill at the 3-3 meta.
Yep. We're gonna go to break. We'll be back with halftime right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
And I want to make sure those of you at home go get your Twitch All Access Pass for 2019. Now, just like last year, there's a ton of great stuff that you won't want to miss. You'll get access to the command center that lets you watch from any player POV during every match. It also comes with 200 Overwatch League tokens so you can rep your favorite teams in the game. And you'll also get 20% off any new merch on the Gear Store website. And the best part, it's all only 15 bucks. The thing basically pays for itself. So just head on over to twitch.tv/Overwatch League and get your 2019 All Access Pass today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Blizzard Arena, you still awake? It is the fourth and final match of the night. And what beautiful colors. We got red, we got pink, we got Summer, we got Hex. Wonderful things happening here in the Blizzard Arena. I'm Chris Puckett, and we got a lot to get into. So let's jump right into game number 1 as we take a look back at some of the highlights. Hex, let's kick this one off. Shanghai, new blood in the mix here. Hangzhou, brand new team. What do they show us as we went to control?
New blood for Shanghai, same old heartbreak as they come out really strong on Busan, and then it kind of just falls apart again. DM was the sole highlight here, but as the map went on, you saw the versatility of Hangzhou as they have everyone playing very well. This team should scare a lot of other teams in the league.
It's exactly that. Hex did a fantastic job of summing it up. I mean, we have had some plays coming out from Shanghai, but it still feels like on the ult side of thing, the communication side of thing, they're still working out the kinks going into the league because as far as I'm concerned, the Spark have done an excellent job managing their ult economy.
I do want to give a major shout out to Gregory, the Soul Tank here running the Wrecking Ball. Interesting comms coming in here from the Shanghai Dragons.
It was a really nice play early on from her, but it was kind of like you have that one fastball pitch. It was a one-pitch thing, and as soon as Hangzhou figured it out, it was amazing. And here's a guy that I think should scare everybody. Rhea's one of my favorite Diva players because he doesn't make any mistakes. Oh! But also you get the bonus of the giant self-destructs. The thing that should scare people about Hangzhou is that everyone plays well and everyone's a threat.
Everybody's looking good tonight, guys, and that bomb, one of my favorites. Look for it in the top 10 at some point. But we got to talk about Shanghai, right? 0-40 in the inaugural season. They staff up. They do everything they need to get themselves in a position to win. Currently, they're down 0-2 tonight, but they're not out of it yet. If they get back in, who's the guy to lead them there?
Dia. Oh, wait, no, DM. Sorry.
Dia, not Dia anymore. We got a new sniper in town.
It was a little rough.
It was a little rough. I'll admit. But, you know, that is the thing. You kind of do a double take. You're like, oh, wait, no, because it is the same scenario as last season. It seems to start things off right now because they were heavily reliant on him last season, the Shanghai. Going into this one, it seems like DM, he's the man who's making it happen. He had a phenomenal performance on Widowmaker to kick things off in this series, but after that, it doesn't really feel like the team is quite able to capitalize on his performance.
The only person with the highlights are going to be DM, Carpe's better half, if you will. A really kind of cool anime story with those two coming in. But I think the support line does have the ability to carry. Shanghai went out of their way to upgrade what was arguably one of the worst support lines in the league last year. Both Koma and Lucky have the ability to take over games.
Final question for you, Semler. Does Shanghai somehow pull this out and get their first win in Overwatch League history tonight?
A Chinese team will get a win tonight.
A Chinese team will get a win. And finally, Hex, for all the new Hangzhou Spark fans out there, there's a lot of pink in the venue. What do you want to see from this team in the second half?
Wild and wacky strats. I want to see DPS heroes play DPS heroes because both Godsby and Bozzy can be Rookie of the Year candidates.
It's been fantastic, guys. We hope you're enjoying this show. Everybody in the Blizzard Arena, make some noise because on the other side of this commercial break, we got the conclusion. The final battle of the night will be Shanghai. Where's the Hangzhou walking away with the win?
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
And we are back here at the Blizzard Arena in Burbank, California. It's the Overwatch League, and right now, newcomers, Hangzhou Spark, coming into the league here 2019, their first season, already up 2 maps in their very first match over the Shanghai Dragons.
Yeah, and we expected Hangzhou to come in super strong, and we are going to see revenge.
Revenge! They don't need revenge, though. They're already winning.
Yeah, exactly.
What to say, yeah.
Maybe they'll need him after they lose the next 2 games.
They need a guy named Win More.
Oh, okay.
No, that's, there you go. Yeah, usually you bring in revenge after you've been losing a little bit, but nope. That's not the way it works for Hangzhou Spark. They take Busan, they take Hollywood. Now we are going to Horizon Lunar Colony as our assault map. We're going to the moon, Monty. Are you ready?
I'm ready to go back to the moon with you again today, Noah.
What did you pack for your trip to the moon?
I didn't pack much, I gotta say.
I love asking these questions. Did you pack any wax for your new mustache?
I might have, but I don't think I need much. It's already there, right? Everything is already there.
They have wax, mustache wax on the moon. Do you think some of like Winston's friends have like big stashes?
There you go.
All right, well, you heard it.
I'll just assume.
Swanky mustache. A lot of hipster gorillas on the moon, I guess. Here we go. Hangzhou Spark coming out on the attack here on our assault map. Shanghai Dragons with the defense, and they're doing things a little bit differently, it looks like. They're going to go for the Pharah, actually, on that Coma on the Mercy to keep that Pharah supported.
I mean, I think we've seen that they can't play 3-3 at the same level as Hangzhou Spark. And
certainly seems that way.
You know, they shouldn't be confident in doing that, honestly, because they haven't had necessarily the pieces to work with.
Oh, okay. Ding already with a kill onto Revenge there, finding him with the rockets, and it's tough to escape that Pharah. If you try to take that 1v1, you better be sure you hit all 3 shots, which is what it generally takes, but when there's a Mercy healing that Pharah, that Ana just needs to run for cover.
Absolutely does. They're not going to make any adjustments right now. We are going to see the Sombra and the Tracer coming around looking for the flank right now.
Yeah. All right, Hangzhou. Trying to come around the side here. They're going to send the Hammond over to the left side, kind of splitting things up to distract Shanghai. Trying to take advantage of the fact that their team is vulnerable in small chunks, I guess. This is a weird attack, all right?
But here, how do they get the supports and the Diva out of that little room? I guess they're going to have to use the Hammond to do it. There's a hack coming in onto Ding. That's huge.
Ooh, that was a close call, but it looks like he's going to live for now. Meanwhile, Coma does go down, so he's without his Mercy, without that support. But Shanghai is managing to pick off Spark players here and there. Rhea out of the mech. And it looks like Dragons will hold for now.
I mean, I don't know how they think they can get that Ana and that Lucio into the fight across the open ground against a Pharah and a Widowmaker with just a Diva there to protect them.
Yeah, it's a bold play, we'll put it that way. No Smite just trying to zone people out. Look at this, already all the way back on point B on Shanghai, just harassing the respawns. And sometimes if the respawns are if those players are a little bit on the weaker side as far as the armor, the shielding not being there, you can do that. You can send someone really far ahead and harass, but it's usually not your tank. It's usually like your Sombra or something.
I mean, they've still got their support stuck here behind this Diva and no way to engage. They're taking these long flanks, but it's chewing up so much time.
I love it, like Diva runs across the hallway. It's like, good luck, guys.
How do they heal anybody right now? Their supports are stuck in that room.
You have to use the Lucio boost, but you need some protection for the tanks to make it work. And Hangzhou Spark just seems like they're trying to be creative here, but I think they might be playing themselves, as they say, as the kids say. All right, that was not the greatest Pharah ultimate I've ever seen. I'll say that. What was he? You can't. What is the Hammond just going to sit there and let you kill him? I don't know. I'm not sure what the thought process was there, but either way, Shanghai still holds for now. Hangzhou Spark still has trouble getting their people onto the point. This is all right. EMP coming in. Whoa! And there's the double slam dunk. Come on and slam and welcome to the jam, says No Smite. Gets 3 in this fight, and I guess that's how you do it. You EMP.
Just wait for EMP. Okay. I mean, I'll take it. They eventually, they were slowly working their supports forward, but I'm not down with this strategy that we're seeing from the Hangzhou Spark right now. I think it has a lot of fundamental positional problems.
That push was certifiably silly, no doubt about it. But No Smite with a sick play here.
And the timing was cool.
Oh man, that was a beautiful play to end a very weird attack for Hangzhou. But they do leave themselves with 4:40 on the clock to try to push point B. So they're still in a good spot.
Like, was it worth taking 3 minutes to have that work?
I don't know.
I'm going to go with no.
It was entertaining.
And especially when you're just going to switch off the Ana immediately afterwards using the nano boost in the last fight.
That was something I have not seen before. Here we go. Youngjin, though, dropping the bongo to try to power up his team. He's going to get the nice shield to actually save his ultimate there. Repositioning that quick to block the self-destruct. Hangzhou Spark in the back corner now, trying to come around from the side. Diem on the Bastion here. Drops back into turret form. A lot of damage coming out of that hero right now. He's got that damage boosting coming in from the Mercy as well. Hangzhou Spark needs a way to handle this. They're just walking into that, and that is every ranked player's dream that I have played with ever. It's like, I'm just going to go Bash, I'm going to kill everybody, and turns out, if you're a pro, you can do that.
You can, and you know, this is one of the things.
Oh, this stagger is real.
I mean, the Bastion is good against the free 3 meta because you have such a hard time approaching it, especially if it's already up on the high ground.
Yep. All right, well, Hangzhou Spark, after making some swaps, stymied on their first attack. And, you know, you're not really expecting a whole lot from this first attack. When you make the swaps that they did, your ultimates are going to be behind your opponents. You're going to have to start building those over again. Now, so as we go forward, they're trading time in exchange for what I think they think are better pushes.
I mean, my argument would be that if it's going to take you 3 minutes to set up an EMP play on point A, you shouldn't be running that composition. You should just play 3-3 on attack.
I cannot argue with that. That's solid. Diem with the ultimate now. Gosby does demet Geggery. Good start there. Geggery down completely now. They go ahead and drop the sound barrier anyway on the Spark side. IDK out of the way. And Diem has a good spot here, but he's got to find a way. Ooh, dropping down. That's an aggro move here. Trying to fire through the Transcendence. I don't know if he was actually meaning to drop off the edge there. That was suspect. Meanwhile, self-destruct for Rhea doesn't catch anyone, but it does allow Fozzy to get in a position where he's going to be able to get a few more kills with this. And Hangzhou Spark finally coming in with a strong attack and getting a lot of time on this point. Now it's just about cleaning up these respawns.
And I think they're going to be able to do just that, though. Ting pushed back right now.
That's going to be it.
Nice. Pooping him off at the end there with the Diva, so they can't touch the point.
Yep, that's right. And Hangzhou Spark, they do take a while, perhaps longer than they needed to, but they get the job done. 2 points on their attack on Horizon Lunar Colony. It's going to be Shanghai Dragon's turn to attack next. See if they can equalize, but before that, a quick break, and we'll be back with round 2. It is time for round 2 here on Horizon Lunar Colony between Shanghai Dragons and Hangzhou Spark. That's right. It's a match a lot of people are looking forward to, and so far, Spark seems to be holding all the cards. They are winning this one 2-0, and they were able to, in a bit silly fashion, I'll admit,
it was
get 2 points on their attack round. That's right. The first step to the stars. Well, yeah, I suppose. You gotta go somewhere, but what stars are they going to? So I'm wondering.
Yeah, we don't really know.
Next?
Where is human space exploration gone in this
Have
future?
they gotten to Mars? I don't know. You'd think by then they have. Ooh, it's going to be the Bastion defense for Spark here on point A. Adding in Godspeed with that Sombra. A lot of harassment coming in, but Shanghai Dragons may be running this Reaper. Interesting. Triple DPS and the single tank again coming out for Shanghai. And you can't argue with this. Oh, they will change though.
Yeah, they keep switching it up. So Youngjin briefly on the Hanzo, now back over to the Reaper. And they are going to run
Diem on the Tracer. Huh.
this triple DPS composition with a solo tank, Keguri.
I mean, you're kind of working with what you got. Like they said, they are kind of short on the tank players right now because of the recent changes. Fearless having to go back to China, leaving the team, and then Gamsu coming in last minute. Hadn't practiced with anyone. You can't blame him for not playing him in today's match, but it makes things a bit tricky.
It does.
See him down already.
He's going to get bopped by Brigitte as he tries to get the flank into the back line. There's still a Hammond and a Sombra.
Brigitte is like, lol, IDK, I just killed Tracer.
There you go.
That's Brigitte in a nutshell, basically. There you go.
And Luffy cannot get across the expanse by himself. As it turns out, it's really hard to cross open ground with Zenyatta without anybody helping you.
He's just jumping across there. He's like, please let me live. I don't know. It's a tough situation. Luffy swapping over to that Ana. Maybe thinking to get a. We're in space now. Reaper in space. In space, no one can hear Lucio's music.
That's true.
Yeah. In space, you can't drop the beat.
Except you can. What does that mean?
I don't know. Lore and science don't go hand in hand. Hangzhou Spark, though, easily taking out this this attack from Shanghai Dragons, and again, they're hiding. Oh, they see him. Reaper's like, see ya, buddy. Good luck. Reaper just pieces out. Oh, so they're trying to help him. Okay, wow. Never mind. I sold Reaper short there. He gave his life to save Lucio. That is a beautiful piece of lore that should become a comic book someday. Oh, but Lucio dies anyway. It's a tragedy, all right? It can't always be a happy ending.
I mean, this match has just gone full silly at this point.
It sure has. It's like, let's not go to Lunar Colony. It is a silly place.
Hey, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. Godsby already setting up here with an EMP.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Bastion's ult nearly ready. So big play for
Time to... Oh, no!
Wow. Nearly got one clipped in that sleep animation.
You know, it's really unlikely, actually, if you are Reaper and you get stuck like that you can actually have time to hit fade to get out. Ooh, EMP coming in for Shanghai. This is their moment. This is their chance, but they already lose a couple people.
Nano boosted.
Youngjin trying to clean people out. You know, it's the thought that counts sometimes, but it's not going to win you the map.
No problem. Nano boosted Recon Bastion.
That's right.
Solves all your problems.
How does Bastion sleep? Does he dream of robotic sheep,
my
know?
PC can sleep.
I guess so. Yeah, that's a good point. That's right.
Touche.
That's like, Die. Tries a Reaper ultimate. Bozzy down, so maybe an opportunity here for Shanghai. Trying to chase down Brigitte a little bit here, but Godsby going to harass him a bit on that Sombra as well. That said, Shanghai is getting some serious time on this point. Will Hangzhou try to defend it? Looks like they will. No Smite takes out Geguri. No tanks on the Shanghai side right now, but it doesn't matter. They're getting the kills anyway. Rhea popped out of that mech and then sent back to spawn, and looks like Shanghai will, in the end, be able to take point A. This has been an interesting map, Monte Cristo.
I'm having a great time, though. I don't know about you.
I'm clearly having an amazing time.
Oh, I'm sad. They switched up the Bastion, even though the tank mode ultimate was available. Instead, it's all about that Tracer now.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's really hard, I think, to play the Bastion when you're dealing with the Wrecking Ball, when you're dealing with the Reaper. So many things that can get right on top of you and eliminate you at close range.
Very true. Shanghai with a decent assortment of ultimates to take on to point B here. Diem does have that pulse bomb. Get a couple picks with that. IDK firing away. Diem has to recall out of there. Oh, gets hacked though. Tracer in a lot of trouble. There's a kill. Youngjin does get the equalizing one onto Godsby. Geguri comes in, drops a minefield. Whoa! Double kill from that minefield. Pops Rhea out of the mech as well. You don't want to step there. Man.
Oh, wow. That's a great push by the Shanghai Dragons.
They crushed it, man.
EMP coming down onto 4.
We'll see, man. Swapping over the Hammond is no Smite. He does get tagged, saves life barely long enough to buy time for Rhea to come back in. So Spark doing what they can, but it's not going to be enough at the end. Shanghai gets their 2 points. We are all tied up on Lunar Colony. And for as loony as early rounds on Lunar Colony were, man, it was a solid point B assault by Shanghai.
It was a little bit loony Colony there at the beginning, but
that's true.
Coming in strong with the snowball off of that point A. We're gonna take a look at Geguri's Wrecking Ball here. Great bomb drop, and then falling straight down and into the minefield. Doesn't matter, just take a nap while you're doing it, picking up all the kills.
It's like, would you like a light dusting of bombs on your point? Geguri's there to give it to you. Been playing great on this Wrecking Ball all day, too. She was originally known for her Zarya play. She was so good originally, people couldn't believe literally how good she was, but she's definitely proved it.
I mean, I think honestly, we still expect great things from Shanghai, no matter what happened in this match over the course of the season. But at least at the start of it, you know, they've had these troubles, and I still think they're doing a great job of adapting.
Well, here we go, getting ready for our attack again. Moving into extra innings, as they say, extra rounds here on Lunar Colony. And we will see what Hangzhou Spark can put together on their attack. They have a little bit less time in the time bank, and so they're going to try to have to use it to do what they can. We'll see. No Smite over on that Hammond, but will he stick with it? That's the question here. We'll see.
It's like Hangzhou thinking about making some swaps here. They will flip over to the Tracer. So they're going to be going for that same attack, Doa. I called it silly the first time. We'll see if they can successfully move their supports across this open ground. They're going to have a lot of trouble.
I mean, it's practice. You believed it, but it's like you said, we saw supports die and die and die trying to get there. And Shanghai knows this. They're like, yeah, okay, we can send a couple people back to deal with the people on the point, providing the pressure, but their supports are so vulnerable. And we're going to have a pause.
All right.
Oh my goodness, the tension grows.
I'm actually glad we have a pause right now.
Sure.
And I'll tell you why. Because we can actually explain how this strat is supposed to work.
Talk to us, Monster.
So basically, when we see these strategies that have been used by Hangzhou that go back to the Sombra Tracer, like you're saying, they want to put pressure on the point to draw people back.
Right.
So especially with the Hammond now and how fast Hammond can get onto the point and how tanky this Wrecking Ball character can be, it prevents you from really, only sending one or two people back to deal with it. You have to send multiple people. Unfortunately, when you're running the Lucio and the Ana at the same time, if they refuse to go back to the point and they keep the Pharah shooting through that open ground, you're just never going to get back there, unfortunately.
True enough.
I think the Pharah is a great answer to this. They have the Widow there too, so they can sort of send their own tanks back and deal with this problem, because you can see right now, No Smite, he's just trying to contest the points, trying to draw them back. Pharah's going to take a couple shots, but Pharah can turn around very quickly.
Trying to break up that Orisa up on the high ground here. Luffy, though, does get the kill on this No Smite, so far so good for Shanghai Dragons.
So Shanghai's playing this well because Ana can't get line of sight, and Lucio is not enough healing to prevent all of the damage coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really interesting comp in that they really believe in it, clearly, but the pieces are struggling to fit together so far.
So I see how it works. I just don't think it's going to work very effectively against Pharah Widowmaker, that's all.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, as they say, DM makes you not see him. So you're going to get those kills. You know?
I'm pretty sure that's a saying.
I don't know. That's right. That's what I say now, anyway. Trying to find those kills. It helps my analogy helps my thing if he actually kills people.
Right now, like
No Smite.
Hangzhou's been in a 6 versus 5 for a long time.
Yeah.
And they still can't do anything.
DM down. Rhea did find a kill there, but they've lost their main tank already. DM does get rezzed by Coma, of course, so he's back in the fight again. Nice having that Mercy there. You can bring the Widowmaker back. And Shanghai again, crushing that fight. Oh, no. That ultimate, I guess it worked out. Yeah, I guess it was okay for Luffy.
I mean, this is a great defense from Shanghai. It really is.
Shanghai holds it. Spark is going to have a very difficult time getting here and making something happen. They got to get somebody on the point right now, and they do. They get No Smite there, but he's on his own. Taken out easily. It's a 5v6. As he does get the kill on the DM. Looks like Cosby comes in for the EMP, but there's no one there to follow up on the fact those abilities are getting locked down. Spark scrambling to make anything happen right now, but Shanghai's not going to have it. Looks like they're going to hold on point A as soon as they can clear Rhea out of here. Self-destruct, just a spiteful self-destruct. Luffy right there with the right click, and that's it, man. Great hold for the Shanghai Dragons. They're going to get a chance to attack, and they are not going to need to do a whole lot to win that map.
They're certainly not. I love the way we saw the Shanghai Dragons play. They go back to what was successful on the control map, especially with DM doing very well on the Widowmaker, as we're taking a look at it right now. Yep. But also, Ding, he is an exceptional Pharah player historically, so him being able to play that hero, I think Shanghai's just, they're like, okay, we may not be the best at this meta without a dedicated main tank player in our roster tonight, but we're going to go back to what we are individually very good at and try and make it work, and you know what they did.
DM makes you not see him.
That's right.
I'll double down on it.
Except
it's true.
He makes you see them all with the Widow ultimate. So
He makes you see him in the kill feed on the right side because he's killing them. There you go. I'm done with that one for a while. That's
never become a rapper, though.
Note to self. Too late. I already am a rapper. I have a great science fiction rap name. It's Philip K. Slick.
That is a great name, but you actually have to put out an album.
I will someday. I promise. You know, I got some time left. Well, Shanghai on the attack, and, you know, again, they only need to take, I believe, just the first tick on point A to win this map, and they've got nearly 3.5 minutes to do it. They are in a great position to win their first map in this series.
That they are. And they are going to be taking a look with Youngjin. Looks like just a Sonic Arrow to make sure there isn't a 4 defense, followed by a quick swap here.
Yep.
Oh, no, going back to the Reaper. So they're going to be doing what was successful for them eventually on their last push.
Things out. Scoping out the terrain here. Hacks that health pack in the back. That gives him a nice place to fall back to if he needs to. Regain his health as he harasses the defense here. Just stepping on the point right now to try to pull some of the members of Spark back, and he's going to pull nearly everybody back here. Even the Bastion trying to fire at him. Chasing down Kekari on the side. Luffy already down. Godspeed with an early kill there. Oh, predicting where Godspeed is. Ooh, trying to go for that sneaky sleep there, Revenge. Not quite hitting it.
Tried to go for it. Didn't quite make it.
That was nearly a kill there on Youngjin. If he can do his regular attack, Reaper does heal from his regular attack, so he can maybe bring himself back into the fight a little bit more. Nope, just kidding. I cast or cursed you. Sorry, Youngjin.
So as we look at the rest of this map, remember that a draw is going to give the Hangzhou Spark a win here, overall in this match.
Sure.
So they only need a draw to feel good about themselves.
That is true.
No, a draw does them as many favors as long as they just don't drop this map or this point to Shanghai.
That's the thing, and we will play the map 4 no matter what happens, because map differential does come in really importantly later on in the standings, later on in the stages in the season.
And it matters more now with fewer matches overall.
Oh, yeah. It's huge. But you are right that if Hangzhou Spark can just cause a draw here, that'll give them the series win at least. And so have 2 wins, and Shanghai will have no way to equalize. But Shanghai's not done yet. Remember, they've got a minute 40 to only get that one pick, but Kekari hacked and taken out. So far, the attack from Shanghai has been anything but successful.
90 more seconds to make it work. And crucially, they will have the EMP. So if they get EMP attack onto the high ground, and just use the engage like we saw earlier in this match with the Hammond to drop onto the Bastion, they might be able to make something happen.
Right on. All right. Shanghai. Gonna need to get a lot of mileage out of that EMP. DM coming close to having his pulse bomb, that ultimate on Tracer, but the placement's gonna need to be perfect. Sneaking around the outside, hit with the sleep dart, but the EMP does go off. A lot of members of Spark are hacked right now, and Youngjin waltzing his way in there with that Reaper. This is his time to reap. No, it's not! Godspeed gets a kill on him anyway, and Rio with another one on Coma. We are sub 1 minute now for Shanghai Dragons to try to take the single tick. And they are struggling. I think that was going to be their best chance, frankly.
Hangzhou knew it was coming. Godspeed was hiding to get the counter EMP off, so nobody with any abilities right there. And Hangzhou once again coming on top.
Yeah.
DM needs to get a good stick here. Not going to be able to demech anybody quite yet. Still looking for opportunities. That's a nano boosted Reaper with a Death Blossom.
Here we go. He's going to try to come in. Die gets 2. Godspeed falling as well. And Shanghai Dragons, they waited till the last second, but they may just have done it here. Looks like they will. Hangzhou Spark couldn't hold long enough, and Shanghai Dragons are still alive in this series.
They'll pick up their first map win. Still need to get 2 more if they want to take this one home.
Youngjin finally finding that Reaper play that he so desperately wanted. That EMP into all that damage. And the Shanghai Dragons are still alive. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, map 4, don't miss it. This is the Overwatch League.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.
What's up, guys? Malik here, back at it again, and I want to make sure those of you at home go get your Twitch All Access Pass for 2019. Now, just like last year, there's a ton of great stuff that you won't want to miss. You'll get access to the command center that lets you watch from any player POV during every match. It also comes with 200 Overwatch League tokens, so you can rep your favorite teams in the game, and you'll also get 20% off any new merch on the Gear Store website. And the best part, it's all only 15 bucks. Thing basically pays for itself. So just head on over to twitch.tv/Overwatch League to get your 2019 All Access Pass today.
Welcome back to this pretty exciting match, actually, between the Shanghai Dragons and the Hangzhou Spark here on the first day of the Overwatch League here in 2019. It's good to be back, isn't it?
It's great to be back, and it's great to see, what are effectively two all-new rosters, with the Shanghai Dragons doing the serious overhaul during the offseason, and of course the Hangzhou Spark being newly minted as an Overwatch League team. So really fun.
Pretty much. Our first expansion seemed to see play in the Overwatch League, and then Shanghai Dragons, which after that kind of rough last season, and I say kind of rough in the kind of most conservative sense, they have pretty much a new team. It is Shanghai Dragons 2.0.
The gentlest way, you
the
could
gentlest
say.
way. Coming in for some teams here.
Yeah, we do.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, coming in, of course, for the Hangzhou Spark, it is going to be Bei coming in for No Smite, and actually, should be coming in for Revenge, actually.
Okay,
that should be the one he comes in for.
And I believe, I heard that Gushui is coming in as well. I think the crowd's going to confirm that for me.
Yeah, that's really exciting. So actually, Gushui is the one coming in for Revenge there. Interesting. But usually they're actually going to swap the roles there. So we Gushui coming in for No Smite, and we will have Bei coming in for Revenge.
Right on. Well, either way, Shanghai Dragons got the win on Horizon Lunar Colony. Now they've got a chance to tie up the series and send us to that map 5, that control map. If you remember back to the first map of the series, it was control on Busan, and honestly, that, in my opinion, has been like almost the best that Shanghai has looked, aside from actually winning that last one. They really gave Spark a run for their money on control. So if we make it there, I think Shanghai's got a real shot.
I mean, go back to those comfort bigs. I'm really excited to see Gushui's Overwatch League debut as such a phenomenal player. So he does obviously have some communication problems with the rest of the roster. He is communicating them with the Korean players primarily in English right now, but hopefully that problem will lessen as the season goes on and they figure out some better ways to communicate in game.
That's something a lot of teams in the league are dealing with, is there's going to be people from multiple places, multiple languages going, and a lot of times we do kind of see or hear that English is sort of the language that the teams will default to, but when you've got a lot of players that are Korean defaulting to English and a couple players that are from China defaulting to English, it gets even trickier, right?
Yes.
So so there's going to be some communication things that need to get ironed out, but hey, this is the time to do it. It's the first day of the season, so everyone's kind of shaking the rust off, kind of getting things ready to go for the rest of the year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun to see.
And regardless, I mean, in Overwatch, I do think in-game communication is less of a factor than in many other games. Because of the speed of the game, there's not often a lot of time to say things.
You can use a lot of shorthand to communicate
you
things, yeah.
And most of your strategies are prepared in advance when you can have translators within the team to explain the in-depth details of a strategy. And then as long as you know kind of what happens if it goes right, what do you do against this composition, there's not really a ton of comms that are going to be happening in-game that really are super detailed.
I played a lot of Rank Ladder in Korea. And I'm not the best player in the world at all, but that was a good example where my Korean isn't perfect, but it was good enough that I could do callouts and things with my Korean teammates on the Korean server and actually, you know, play sort of a meaningful game. So if I can do it at my scrub level, these guys can definitely do it at the pro level. That's for sure.
I think it's a little bit more challenging at the pro level, but
maybe. We're going to Rialto for our escort map. Again, one of the newer maps for Overwatch.
And even though we do see a lot of 3-3 on Rialto, you're also going to see this from Hangzhou on the Rialto A defense, which is Widowmaker, which is Bastion, trying to take control of the high ground. And the reason is, if you are trying to play 3-3 on your attack, it's very difficult to walk up to that high ground or to walk over the bridge against so much long-range incoming damage.
Last minute swaps by Shanghai, but Ding is on the Symmetra. I don't know, I feel like they're scoping it out. Okay, yeah, swapping over to the Sombra. Wanted to see if maybe they could use that, I suppose, but I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of Sombra strats on this one.
I mean, I've seen it sometimes on defense.
I can see where you can do it.
You could maybe get across the bridge easily with the Symmetra, but...
Oh, Koma down already. That's going to stymie the attack for Shanghai a little bit here. Oh, Sombra fight! Oh, Pozzy manages to escape. Ding Sombra, for the moment anyway. And Hangzhou just trying to stabilize on that defense. It can be really hard to contest that Bastion sometimes. And with the weight, I think Hangzhou knows that maybe Shanghai is making some changes here, and that's going to make that Bastion a little bit more vulnerable.
And they're really trying for a hard dive composition.
Yeah,
you look at this Sombra, this
Genji,
Tracer,
Hammond.
Genji, and the Wrecking Ball, and they are really targeting the low mobility Bastion.
Yeah, there you go. Geguri gets one early on onto Bazian. Can they follow it up, though? They did lose Koma. They lost their Lucio, so that payload is still not moved nearly at all.
Well, you can't move the payload with this composition if you're Shanghai. You have to kill them before you move it.
You got to win that fight on the high ground before you do anything. Oh, what a great right click with Gushui to bring people back in. Youngjin just drawn right back in by that halt from the Orisa. DD does get the kill on the Bebe, so the Bastion is out of the way. Can they possibly get a res on it? It's tough to say. Yeah, gonna try to do it. Yeah, the res comes in from IDK on the Bebe, so they have their Bastion back again. He's a bit separated from the Orisa though, but they do kill Geguri. So Shanghai Dragons stalled out yet again.
They just can't approach the payload as it is right now, so they have to win these battles on the high ground first. They have a lot of low HP heroes. They're not even really getting anywhere close to that. There's so much displacement from the Spark. Like, if they try and go up there, the Pharah concussive blast can just knock everybody off.
Trying to go for the hack here. Ding, though, down early. Ooh, there we go. Pulse bomb onto Bebe. Youngjin following things up with the Reaper, trying to finish this kill. And it looks like Shanghai will finally get the payload moving.
Yeah, they finally will able to crack that high ground. Ding now moving to signature Pharah pickup, and Youngjin also is going to need to swap off right now.
Yeah, he wanted to just try to capitalize on the EMP, get the payload going, and then swap over to the Rhine, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they're going to want to play the 3-3 composition Hangzhou Spark right now. You just need that for the first defense. It's intended to slow them down. You will be playing mostly triple tank, triple support for the rest of the map.
Okay, Geguri has that ultimate, and I think that's why we see her sticking on the Hammond for the moment here. Trying to DPS down Rhea. Doing that damage. They push payload quite a bit. Ooh, the stun. Got to be careful here. Gets the shield off just in time. Geguri nearly getting eliminated. Self-destruct coming in. No kills out of that one. Hangzhou Spark. Koma down, though. They get the follow-up. Geguri drops a minefield. They've got him trapped here. Can they push him in? Yep, Bebe down early from the minefield. And they're trapped between a minefield and a payload place, I guess is how the saying goes.
Oh,
Bigger
nice shatter.
comes in from Youngjin. That works out great. And Ding takes out Godsby. It looks like that's going to be the payload moving again. So Shanghai not stopped for long. They take point A, and looks like we've got a little bit more of a pause there. All right.
That was really a good flank by Geguri coming in with the minefield. Yeah, you really set that up nicely. No place for them to go while they were caught in the checkpoint, trying to prevent them from taking point A on that payload. And of course, the shatter comes in right as they turn around.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. You just kind of trap them again between the proverbial rock and a hard place, and it works out great. So where Shanghai kind of struggled to get the payload started, now that it's rolling, you can really kind of see them putting this composition together and executing it pretty well, I'd say.
Yeah, and it's part of the swap over to the triple tank, triple support, that you're going to get rolled for a bit while you try and build up an ultimate bank. So the price you pay for not doing it at the start is that, yes, they had a great defense right at the start of the map, took a lot of time off the clock, but then the punishment is when you eventually lose a fight on that kind of composition, you have to switch over to the 3-3. That's when it takes a while to like charge back up again.
Well, I think they played it well, where they didn't have Geguri switch right away because she had that high alt charge.
Yeah.
And then they honestly did a great job of utilizing that to kind of bolster what they were already trying with it. So, yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
It's cool. Meanwhile, Hangzhou Spark, they had a decent hold early on, but once it was broken, it seemed like it was really hard for them to sort of like reorganize and get back together. And, you know, we talked about the maybe language concerns that would come in with Gushui jumping in here for map 4, and maybe that was part of it, maybe it wasn't. But either way, it seems like Spark, I feel like I've kind of been noticing this with the series, that it has been taking them a little bit longer to reset in certain situations than a team really should take at this point.
Yeah, and I think a part of that is they, like you're saying, the language concerns. They're trying to approach the payload
It's day one.
again. It is day one.
Don't
of
read
course.
into it too much, yeah.
I just like the way the Hangzhou Spark are playing, though, because the easy thing to do in this metagame is just to default to 3-3.
Sure.
Because if you're confident in your 3-3 ability, why not just play it the whole map? Because eventually you're going to switch to it. So if you're the better 3-3 team the whole time,
Fair
then
enough.
just play it, right?
Yeah.
That'd be the argument, but that's not fun.
No. Well, I'm actually really happy with how this match has gone. And, you know, part of that is been Shanghai, you know, not quite having their normal tank player, their main tank player, rather. And so to be able to adapt to that, to create the sort of like single tank composition that's been working pretty well with Geguri has been cool to see. But let's take a moment to look at some highlights from Horizon Lunar Colony from our last map. Shanghai was able to win that one and keep themselves alive in this series. Remember, if it had even been a draw on Lunar Colony, that would have been it. And we would have played the 4th map, but it would have been Spark with the win either way.
That was such a great combo to start things off there.
Oh, yeah.
EMP coming in, leaving the members defenseless and low mobility on the side of the Shanghai Dragons, finished up by the Wrecking Ball.
Right.
Thereafter, Godsby here getting right all the way back up, and immediately, like this, in the millisecond he got the Graviton Surge, ends up going down.
I gotta say, Godsby has really impressed me all day between the Sombra play and between the Zarya play that we've seen from him. And Hyungjin, he really wants this Reaper to work, and it's worked at certain times. I'm still not a total believer in Reaper being great in this meta, but yeah,
I think it's a situational pick.
I've seen some things that could change my mind. I'm happy about it. This was a great play by Geguri as well. Kind of swinging over, dropping the Mind Shield as she went. And
Nano boosted Reaper won the map for the Shanghai Dragons, so
yeah, can't argue with that. Solid. Godsby again, with him on the Sombra, of course. Being so annoying to deal with. And there's some Reaper stats for you. There we go. And that's the thing with Reaper. This is the reason why people are so excited about him again, because he does like heal for half the damage he does with his primary fire right now. So that's gonna create a character that can be very hard to take out, especially when the ultimates. He's doing so much damage to everybody that you just kind of have to get out of the way.
And especially when we see the Bastion coming in too, you're just abusing the fact that Bastion has to be in that turret mode to be dealing a lot of damage. So if you can sneak that Reaper in there, you're going to be feeling really, really confident. Easy to hit those shots, easy to take out the Bastion from behind.
Sure enough, we're going to take another quick break, guys, unfortunately, but we will be back ASAP to conclude this match, see if Shanghai can stay alive and force a map 5, or if Spark will end it all right here. See you in a few. welcome back yet again. We are unpausing right now, and it's time to see if Shanghai Dragons can keep this push alive. We're back. Oh, we're not back. Never mind.
Wow,
Oh,
you caster cursed that one.
Hey, you're getting the full esports experience today because, you know, there's another caster out there that says technology is the vehicle of esports. Good old Tasteless over StarCraft 2. And it's true, you know? Esports can't go without the technology. And just like, you know, I don't know.
Where are you going with this?
In other sports, sometimes a ball deflates. Sometimes a basketball gets stuck in, you know, between the rim and the backboard. Hashtag no controversy. And sometimes with esports, you got to make sure everything's working just fine so these players can play their best. Obviously, that's how it goes. There you go. There's my speech on technology and esports.
Hey,
I hope you've enjoyed it.
You know, what I like about esports is no referees, personally. But
there you go.
The game decides the rules.
Yeah, that's right. We don't have to worry about what a catch is here, right? Still don't know.
No one knows what a catch is now.
I don't know. I know what a payload is, and I know that Shanghai needs to push it to keep themselves alive in this match. That's what I know right here, and they're trying to do a lot else to deal with. They're going to go and drop the Graviton Surge right now. K-Green tries to drop in there. There's the mines. Can Spark get out in time? Sound barrier for Shanghai. Going to keep them alive as they push in. They've got that grab on them, though. Maybe with a kill on the Coma. It was a bit of a disjointed fight, but it looks like Spark is starting to pull ahead in kills here.
And these are just the little things of the 3-3 composition.
Really
the minefield just a tad late when that Graviton Surge came up for the Shanghai Dragons.
Yep.
Couldn't quite get the combo off, and that allows Hangzhou Spark to survive, and even survive with a lot of ultimates available. Didn't have to pop that Transcendence at the end from Bebe Zenyatta.
Yeah, you can definitely see what Shanghai was going there. Trap them in the Graviton Surge, drop the minefield on top of them, and it nearly worked. It was just slightly late from Kegri, just a little bit of miscommunication. But now they're in that situation where it's going to be a while till they have the opportunity to try something like that again. Rally comes in for Bazzi. They're going to try to push forward here. Youngjin taken down early. Hangzhou Spark in the grab, but there's really not a lot of follow-up damage coming in from Shanghai right now, and they've already lost Youngjin before he had a chance to use his Earth Shatter too.
Yeah, and when you're in that situation and the Graviton comes in and your Reinhardt's dead, you lose a large amount of the damage that you would have while everybody is clustered up close together. It's going to come around and just pop around the corner with that one, though.
Just a Russian no-look shatter. They're going to get Bazzi, but then they're going to get stuck in the Graviton Surge. It does push Spark back enough, though.
Oh, man, that Graviton was a massive mistake from the Hangzhou Spark.
That was a panic move, you know? That was Gosby thinking he needed to pull the trigger, and it wasn't the time. Self-destruct thrown in. Give Spark a chance to advance here onto the payload. Transcendence coming in. Luffy just diving into the fight to keep people alive here. Gushui waiting for an opportunity. He's nearly got his own Earth Shatter, but he's down to sub 100 health. Ooh, that was close. Waiting for a chance. Wants to use it. Gets a couple with it. I don't know. Youngjin down. Self-destruct, though. A lot of that damage blocked by the sound barrier here as Spark dives back into the fight. Shanghai Dragons trying to use what they've got to stay alive, but Ding jumping in the middle by himself. I don't know how well that works. No kills out of that. And Spark holds the payload for now, and it's just 10 seconds for Shanghai left.
Yeah, that's all they've got here to try and push this payload through.
And they got to make it. They got to move this thing. They don't have to move it far to get another chunk of time, but it's going to be tough to get through Hangzhou Spark. They've got the rally from the Brigida, moving in with that extra armor now. Gosby waiting it out, throws in the Graviton Surge, and everybody locked up. Coma on the payload, trying to focus on the other Graviton Surge from Shanghai. They're going to go in with Luffy's Transcendence. He built another one so fast, and look at this, Diem so charged up, doing so much damage on that Zarya. Is it going to be enough? They'll get stunned. Another shatter comes in from Gushui, and Diem finally falls. Shanghai, they've nearly got it to the end of B, but they need to push it just a little bit farther, and Spark doesn't want to let him. They're getting the kills, and Shanghai came so close, but they couldn't quite finish B. That was a great defense by Spark.
It was. The Transcendence absolutely clutch to set up Gushui for another Earth Shatter, keep everybody on the Spark alive.
Yeah.
And the spawn time is just so long there. The distance that the Shanghai Dragons had to move to get all the way back to the end of point B. Respawn advantage heavily favoring the Spark, excuse me.
I know.
We got too many Spark shock charge, man.
I guess so. Let's watch another replay of this one. Bebe at the end of that pretty clutch Transcendence to keep some people alive on his team.
Yeah, it got Gucci the time to get the shatter too.
That's right.
DM was at like 100 charge there also, so making sure they hit the Zarya with the shatter, super important.
Absolutely. Bebe himself, there he is. Working with this team, overcoming language barriers, getting the hold on Rialto here. And now, you know, honestly, the Spark don't have to push it all that far. They don't even need to finish B to close out this series.
I mean, sometimes though, the challenge is simply getting through A on this map.
Well, we've seen
Rialto
that,
is a
sure.
very defensive favored map in this pool.
Very true.
And we are going to see the Shanghai come out once again with the Widowmaker and the Pharah here trying to control the bridge.
Yeah, not going for the Bastion strategy that Spark did. They're not quite as all in on one point on the high ground to defend. They're a little bit more mobile with this composition.
I mean, this is where I'd love to see Godspeed's famous Genji come out.
That'd be sick. Gonna stick on the Zarya, I think, for now. Gushue over to the Reinhardt last minute. They're gonna go with the fairly classic 3-3, except for the crucial change of
No, they're going to change.
Widowmaker.
They're all going back to change right now once they see this composition
all
again.
right.
And they're going to go Orisa Roadhog and Hangzhou and Widowmaker. So double sniper, and also they're trying to get the advantage with the Orisa by having the halt and Roadhog hook combo. So they want to drag somebody up and hook them in while they just sort of put this meat shield of triple tanks on the payload. It's a really good strategy against what the Dragons are running.
This is a blast from the past, but on this map, it's a great strategy. Maybe on that Roadhog, like you said, going to be looking for hook follow-ups to those right clicks, those halts that Gushue will be throwing out on the Orisa. It takes a lot of coordination for the two tank players to land those. Meanwhile, Asi and Godspeed on the snipers are going to be pouring in a lot of damage from long range, from theoretically relative safety here. It's going to be tough for Shanghai to match.
The issue is that the barrier damage is so much greater on the side of Hangzhou Spark. Those Orisa shields, when you're faced with a Hanzo and a Roadhog, it's going to go down so much faster.
Very true. Getting a long look at the minimap there. Oh, Godspeed finds the headshot on the DM, just tosses it out there.
Headshot.
Yeah, right. I'm sure DM will tell you it was accidental. Godspeed will be like, no, I meant to do that.
I mean, I love this composition that you're coming in with right here.
I've never heard a Hanzo ever admit to an accidental kill, by the way. Just doesn't happen. It's a sick composition, though, isn't it?
Yeah, really good. And in general, Orisa Roadhog is going to beat just Orisa by herself.
Fair enough. No pressure at all on this Widowmaker. On the Spark side, they cruise through A, and now they have nearly 5 minutes to take B.
All right, they got to switch. They can't.
Oh, DM. Oh, he got away just in time.
I'm not sure he wanted to, though. He needs to swap.
All right, Taylor's just going to chill out. Oh, yeah, we need to push this thing. Yeah, that's right. Ria's got the idea.
Look at the quick swap, though, from the side of Hangzhou, because they want to switch to 3-3 when they see it coming in. And they keep the payload moving, so both teams are going to reset their ult economy here, but Hangzhou has been the better 3-3 team so far.
Yeah, absolutely. When we've seen it, 3-3 to 3-3, Hangzhou has certainly looked like they had all the nuances down a bit more. Diving in right now, see if they can do it. The Zarya shield's out of commission now, used up. Now the damage really can be done. Nice stun onto Gushue, D'ing set up, setting up that kill. Onto the Spark tank. And everyone's just going to take a swim.
Yeah, the pink in the drink, though.
That's right. You don't want to take a swim in the canals of Venice, though. That's what I've heard.
Maybe they're cleaned up in the future.
Yeah, they do look a lot cleaner. I love this more positive, cheerful version of the future that Overwatch show does. The canals of Venice even are cleaner than they've ever been.
They skipped the horrors of the Omnic Wars and went straight to the good part.
I'm fine with that. To nerf this, double self-destruct. No kills coming out from that, but they do set up the Shanghai Dragons to get a couple themselves. That defense is going to hold for now.
All right, going to reset one more time. Shanghai have been pretty solid here on this defense, and they are winning the ultimate battle. The problem is, eventually they're going to have to use those ultimates, and the pendulum will swing back in favor of the Spark. And considering they're already halfway through point B, that's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? Is that it's such a game of ultimates, right? Where you're going to try to do each fight as efficiently as your side possibly can so they can get that fight where it's really lopsided in your favor. Oh, that crowd got eaten by Ria, actually. That is huge. Oh, speaking of huge, here comes your shatter from Youngjun. Great charge after that. And what looked like it was going to be disastrous for Shanghai has turned into a really smooth teamfight win. Spark actually dedicated a lot they had into that, too. And, man, That turned out great for Shanghai.
Yeah, definitely did. Huge shatter from Youngjin, turning that fight around. And they didn't even have any support ultimates to use. So Shanghai coming up on 3 support ults. This could be a great hold for them.
Yeah, it's still 2:20 on the clock for Spark, so they do have time to try to swing things back in their favor eventually. But for now, Shanghai seems to have the edge. They're going to go in with a rally on the Shanghai side. Again, trying to use those support ultimates efficiently. They're going to have the other 2 very soon. Oh, Graviton Surge used early. Small window for Spark if they can capitalize on this, but no, they do get the Transcendence just in time. But Koma goes down right before he gets a sound barrier. Perhaps a chance with that Earth Shatter for Spark to get the payload moving again. And with Youngjin going down, that self-destruct catches Luffy as well. And wow, Spark, they really found the narrowest window possible before those 2 support ultimates for Shanghai came out to push that payload to win that fight.
Yeah, but even then, though, Shanghai's still going to be coming back with a lot of ultimates. A self-destruct maybe not should have been used there at the end by the Hangzhou Spark.
Could be.
Got a sound barrier. Still some time, though. 90 seconds. Enough time to build up some quality ults again.
Yeah, very true. Meanwhile, that payload is very close to a game-ending position for Spark. DM has the Graviton Surge ready to go. He's going to go ahead and throw it on the payload to try to bring in a lot of members of Shock. They're going to try to focus on it. Ooh, sound barrier now for Shark as well. And that Earth Shatter, this time for Youngjin, not doing a whole lot. He's going to get taken out instead as he goes very far forward. IDK looking for those boots here, dodging that self-destruct. Kushui not so lucky. Both Reinhardt's out of the way, and Spark may need to play this one a little bit safer. 60 seconds remaining now for Spark rather, to try to get this one done. Wow, good boop gets him off the high ground, but the rest of his team not really there to use that.
Yeah, this corner is so hard to attack.
Sure is, yeah.
Like, you can't get any sightlines, you can't get any damage, and having a Zarya up there is a massive advantage because you can dodge the incoming damage using the high ground and really get yourself nice and charged up.
Indeed. Well, Godsby, speaking of being charged up, lots of damage coming at him on that Zarya, and a good grab could be enough to end it. They've got the rally as well from the Brigida to try to capitalize on that, but we are down to 20 seconds. Spark trying to push this. If they can, the match is over. If they can't, Shanghai forces the game 5. They're going in. It's going to be Luffy with the Transcendence to try to keep them alive during the Graviton Surge, but now Ding is gone. Godsby with a crucial kill here. Meanwhile, Koma a little bit low, gets score back Harmony for some healing, but Spark edging that payload even closer to finishing this one. They've got the aggressive positioning. We're into overtime. Spark trying to win the match. Shanghai Dragons just trying to stay alive. But Gagari's out of the mech. She's out of the map. And there goes Youngjin, the Shatter coming in to seal the deal. And they've got the sound barrier on top of that. It looks like today is still not Shanghai's day. The Spark will get their first win in their first match in the Overwatch League.
That was an impressive display from the Hangzhou Spark, thought to be really one of the new darlings of this league in terms of course, their fan support and their in-game skill. Shanghai, the first win still eluding them, but an impressive performance in difficult circumstances.
That's right. Oh, the Pink Princes, the Bubblegum Bros, call them what you will, but the Hangzhou Spark are here, and they've made a great statement in their opening match. It wasn't always the cleanest affair, but a lot of creativity like we expected, a lot of decent execution.
I mean, the thing about the Hangzhou Spark is how do you prepare for these guys? Because they're going to throw so many different compositions at you.
Yeah.
Like, it's very difficult to predict what they're going to be doing, and they seem to be quite competent on all of them.
Well, that's really the big question, too, is, going forward, how do you handle a team that seems very adaptable and seems really ready to capitalize on the smallest things in this meta that you can capitalize on? It is really neat. So that was our match, the last match of the day. Thanks for joining us. We are going to have Watch Point coming up, too, to break down a lot of the action that we saw. And oh boy, it was gritty.
It was gritty. I'm so glad we got the gritty today, Noah.
That was sick.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.